The first video I uploaded to this channel was a town theme from Final Fantasy VI, under martial law. My transcription is kind of ugly, as I didn't have Note Performer, so I couldn't export right out of Sibelius. Instead, I screen capped PDFs or something. I also didn't specify the channels, which I think is really interesting in knowing how the piece of music was created. The transcription I use in this analysis is an updated one, which I'll show in its entirety with annotations at the end of this video. I was working on my dissertation at the time, and one chapter is devoted to town themes. This one is interesting because it's nothing like a typical town theme, which are usually pastoral, peaceful, and pleasant. This one is everything but. It's dreary, dark, and dismal, which works great in context as it's a theme you hear when the town is occupied by the Empire. It's first heard when Locke returns to South Figaro, replacing Kids Run Through the City. This stark contrast immediately tells the player something is amiss. For this analysis, I'd like to use the simple methods from Jan Leroux's Guidelines for Style Analysis. Sound, harmony, melody, rhythm, and growth. SHMERG. It's a terrible acronym. The 4-bar introduction is in G Dorian. The heart pedals on open fifths and the strings are harmonized in parallel fourths. This introductory material does not repeat when it loops, but the string part is developed throughout. Bars 5 through 12 presents the main theme in E minor, the wind instrument, which I think is a cor anglais or English horn, and strings work together to morph the Dorian sound into a Phrygian one. The second phrase of the melody comes from the Empire's leitmotif. Listen to these two examples from other pieces in the game. The Empire Gestalt and Troops March On. Bar 13 to 20 is the same thing, transposed down to C minor, but the melody is played on a French horn. But it uses the same string pads, rhythmic hi-hat, and simple bass line. Harmonically, the piece moves from G minor to E minor to C minor, 3 tonal centers that are all distantly related to each other. It's best to analyze these transformations through Neoreimannian theory. First, the original key of G minor is the parallel minor to the original town theme's G major, Kids Run Through the City. Listen to that real quick. When modulating, it's customary to go to a closely related key. Here's your circle of fifths. This is usually a relative minor or relative major, or a key that differs by 1 accidental. Going from 2 flats to 1 sharp is quite distant, but is common in a lot of Uematsu's work. He does this all the time in Final Fantasy VII. This chromatic mediant relationship is best explained as a PR transformation, that is, parallel relative. G minor's parallel major is G major, and the relative minor, the G major, is E minor. The next switch from E minor to C minor is a little more distant, 1 sharp, 3 flats. The tonics are now a major third apart as compared to the minor third apart from the last modulation. But it's best explained as an SR, slide relative. E minor and E flat major share the same third, a G. And E flat major is the relative major of C minor. Overall, this theme is proof that the state of affairs in the plot of the game overshadows the original gaming function that is a town.